Okay, so today is August 23rd, and this is going to be my market analysis for the week coming up. As a reminder, once again, everything that is published on my channel is for educational and entertainment purposes only. If you need help with your investments, make sure you consult your financial advisor. And with that out of the way, let's get started. So we're going to be starting this time around with, the crypto market because we had a very strong move in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Also, I'm going to be looking at the Forex market, also gold, crude oil, as well as the indices, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, S&P 500. And let's get started here with Bitcoin. So you can see we had a very strong move. And also, if I switch to the weekly chart, if I draw a line here, you might notice we've had a break of structure. Okay, so this was a swing high, and we have now closed way above it. That tells me that there's a lot of momentum to the upside rather. And where could we expect this thing to retrace back if it does? I will be looking at potentially buying if price drops down to. I'm going to draw a couple of, or at least mark off a couple of zones here. This is on a 4-hour chart. Okay, so let's see. Let's move that over there. It could potentially drop down here, but I'm thinking it's going to be one of these two that we could see it spike down to. So the first zone, I'm not sure if you guys can see it. I don't have my face cam on, just so you can see the charts better. Okay, so 72,458 to 73,339. This is going to be a potential zone here with buy orders. So if it does drop down to there, I'm going to be watching this zone. Doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to be buying. It depends on what kind of price action I see. If it falls through there, this is going to be my next zone at 69,121 to 69,950. That is where I may potentially buy it. Okay, so that is for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Actually, looking at potential targets here, where could this reverse from? We might even reverse from where we are here, but there is, I'm just looking to see if I can find a potential, this could actually be going all the way up here. We could be going up to 88,721. Okay, so I'm going to be marking this here because there are sell orders sitting at this zone here. So 88,721 to 90,464. There are sell orders here, but I think we might see a pullback because this is pretty parabolic. And usually when you see moves like that, you will see a retracement just as steep, going down. So we might even hit, this point here, this lower zone at 69,121. Around this area. But yeah, I'm expecting a bit of a pullback, going into this week. As for Ethereum, same thing. Look at that parabolic move. This is on a daily chart. And let me just show you here which areas I would be interested in buying at. Okay, so probably over here. There are orders sitting at this level here. So if it does drop down to, let's see, 2067 to 2104, this area, I'm going to be interested in, potentially buying from this zone. Okay, so that is the Ethereum. Let me just show you potential areas for reversal here. I'm trying to track where. Okay, it's kind of like Bitcoin. It could go as high as this zone over here. Okay, so there are sell orders at 2980 to 3040. We have quite a bit of room to go, but yeah, I would like to see a bit of a pullback first before buying into Ethereum. And taking a look at the US dollar. Okay, so if we look at the US dollar, there's a couple of things that actually happened. And we look at the weekly chart, we actually had a break here. Okay, so we are now going down, but also if I put the 20-day moving average on the daily chart, you can see we are below. So the US dollar, I'm expecting to see potentially a bit of a retracement, and then it's going to continue on its way down, which means the British pound, the Swiss franc, so this is the British pound, Swiss franc, euro, you can see they are all strengthening against the US dollar. Okay, the Japanese yen, Canadian, Australian, and New Zealand. But out of the Forex pairs, I'm really interested in the Japanese yen because this is above the 20-day moving average. But the other thing too is it's very close to this 20-day moving average, which means this area is a really good chance to actually get in on potential bullish move. Okay, so I will be looking at possibly buying the Japanese yen when the markets open. Probably later tonight. We'll have to see what happens in terms of price action. And I will be looking at, let me just mark out which zone here. Yeah, because I can see that the Japanese yen may gap down. But there is a really nice zone over here. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to drop down to this point. This is on a 4-hour chart, but if it does, I'm going to be interested in potentially buying. Okay, so that is the Japanese yen. The gold, let me just look at gold here. You can see we are closing above the 20-day moving average. What's interesting about gold actually is a couple of weeks ago, I did mention that, let me just close that. On the COT, I mentioned that the smart money was buying. Okay, so you can see what happened here. And I know that when it comes to a COT, at least the COT index, if you're wondering about this blue line, that is tracking actual positions in the market by the smart money. They were actually building long positions. And when you see this move away from the green line, that is typically when the move starts. And you can see it here. Okay, so it made a massive move up. We were able to predict that move up. Now, they are starting to build short positions, but you don't want to sell now. What you actually want to see is, price, or at least this blue line, move away from the red line. So if it moved, if I can draw here. Okay, so if it moved like that, that is when you are going to look to short, gold. But for now, it's going to move up. It looks like we open up here. We actually have a gap. So I think it's going to move down a bit, retrace and then push higher. Okay, so that is going to be for gold. And let's see, silver, we're actually above the 20-day. Okay, so you can see here. That is silver. The futures markets have just opened up here. So I'm doing my analysis here for the markets. Platinum is also above. So I'm bullish on gold, silver, platinum. Look at all the red here. Wow. Okay, so it looks like the market doesn't like, what's going on. I think we are going to see a bearish move. I wouldn't be trading copper. Okay, so it's too close to what I'm seeing here. Looks like a lot of chop. Crude oil. Okay, so crude oil, we are above the 20-day moving average. But another thing I wanted to show you guys is actually the COT. We were, touching this green area. And just like gold, when I mentioned that I'm looking to see with gold for it to move away from the red line, the same thing here with the green line. Notice how we're moving away from it. This is where we are going to start to see potentially a very strong move to the upside. So I wouldn't be surprised. I am looking to potentially buy crude oil. And let me show you if I can show you potential zones here that I would like to see. Obviously, we have gapped here, but I would like to see for crude oil for us to come down to this zone here. If it comes down to, let's see, 84.28 to 84.82, this area, I would be interested in potentially buying. There is another zone over here at, let's see, 81.86 to 83.23. Okay, so these areas, they have buy orders by large institutions. I can see it in the way that price is moving. I would be looking at potentially buying depending on, what price does. But I would like to see this move down, and then I'm going to potentially buy from this zone over here. Let's see. Okay, we're going to start looking at the indices now, the Dow Jones, Nasdaq. Okay, so yeah, I have a feeling that they may potentially drop down. You can see we are below the 20-day moving average on the Dow Jones. So I am kind of bearish, although the way that it's kind of chopping around here, I don't quite like. If you look at, yeah, I think we're going to chop around here. We have a very big weird gap here too. Okay, so this gap over here, I would actually like to see the Dow Jones. If I'm being honest, I would like to see it kind of drop into, there's actually a zone here of buy orders. Okay, so if it drops all the way down into this zone here, I may look at potentially buying, depending on what price does. As for the Nasdaq, you can see we are starting to drop here. And you know, the Nasdaq, I believe it is, yeah, it's on this line here. But another thing I noticed with the Nasdaq, if we look at the swing low, okay, so there is a swing low over here. If you look very close, I'm going to try to zoom in here for you guys. See, we can do it this way. So you notice how this candle on this red candle over here, the wick. So you have a low, and then the wick on either side is higher. That is a swing low. We actually closed below it. That tells me that there's going to be more momentum to the downside. Now, how low could this actually drop to? I'm looking at potentially, there is a zone here where we could see potential buying. So that is from 28,079 to 28,725. I could see it dropping down into the zone here, and we may see it shoot up from here. I'm not exactly sure. I do see a zone within here. Bern Skopinski calls this big brother, small brother. Okay, so he has a concept here where basically you have a larger time frame demand, and within that you have a smaller time frame demand, just to help pinpoint where the orders could be. And 28,313 to 28,626, this zone here, we might see some violent price action, potentially to the upside. I don't know. If it cuts through this, we could see a very big drop, I think, because I don't see. And, I did mention before, this candle here, it didn't have a wick. And I said, quite often when you see that, price will go past it, almost to kind of create a wick. But as for how far this could drop, I mean, this is kind of a scary drop if it does do that. But yeah, we could potentially drop all the way down to 25,393. But, for now, I think that's looking a little bit too far. I'm going to be more interested in this zone over here. But if it does drop through it, you could see a pretty nasty drop. And it could happen very quickly too. Okay, so that is for the Nasdaq. S&P 500 is the same thing. We did have a break here. So just like the Nasdaq, okay, so that's a swing low. Okay, so you have low here. The wicks on either side of this candle are higher. We close below it, and now the momentum is starting to pick up steam. So I'm looking at potential targets here for the S&P 500 from 7427 to 7541. And within this zone, if it does move up, we could see it move up from 754 to 7500, rounded off. Okay, so this zone over here, there are orders in this zone, and we may see price move up from here. The Russell, let's take a look at the Russell. We have also broken below. There is a structure here. Okay, so you can see the candle on either side, the wick. We have broken down, and just like the other indices, let me just draw a zone here. There are buy orders sitting in this area here. Okay, so from 2905 to 2976, and we have a weird gap here. Yeah, this one's a bit tricky because I think there's kind of like two potential areas where there could be a lot of orders. This is one of them within. So 2951 to 2960, and also, let's just mark off this area here. We have like multiple orders here. I think to be on the safe side, I would be looking at the second one because we have a gap here. And, you know, the markets, they don't like gaps. They will generally fill it, you know, eventually. And I could see this being filled. Like it would spike down into the zone and then potentially push up. But that is the Russell. And I think, you know, that's pretty much it as far as my analysis goes. Yeah, sorry for no webcam. You know, I just figured that this way might be better. You can see my charts a lot clearer. I will be trying to record the next episode of my mini series. You know, when I did my prop firm challenge, when I got a payout with my funded futures. Stay tuned for that as well. And also, guys, in the comment section, if there's anyone who is trading with my funded futures and you're not part of the my funded futures, I think it's called like the club or something, let me know, because I do have some invites and I can invite you to that. But yeah, just let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And with that said, thank you guys for watching. And until the next trading video, I'll catch you guys later.